Hello students, we're going into week 4 of this semester. I hope you guys are doing wonderful. I hope that that many of you were not affected by, many of you really were not affected by Hurricane Herman. Um, so let's get to week 4. This week I want you to start working on your narrative essay. In fact, um, I want you by Friday, I want you to submit a rough draft of your narrative in the discussion um, on the discussion board for two of your classmates to respond to. So each person needs to submit a rough draft by Friday, which is the 9th of September, and have at least and you are to respond to at least two of your classmates' um, narrative essays. Now, what is a narrative? A narrative is very simply a story. I want you to take one event in your life and talk about that event. A narrative should not take more than uh, your narrative event should not be more than a day. So it needs to be an event that happened within a 24-hour time frame. I have included on your on your in your class some instructions on how to do that. Um, your narrative needs to have um, imagery. You need to let us see your story, not just tell your story. We want to see some things. So, for example, if you were wearing in your story, you're wearing a shirt. Okay, just say a shirt. Don't just say I was wearing a blouse or a shirt or a t-shirt. Let us see that shirt. For example, again, another example, if it was, just don't describe it as the day was a long day. For example, talk about something like, was it sunny? Was it cloudy? Did it rain? Um, Describe your event. Put me as a reader into your event that you're going to tell a story about. But I did provide for you um, uh, a particular video by Andrew Stanton, and I want you to look at that. It should be in your week 4 narrative writing folder. It is a video by Andrew Stanton. Andrew Stanton is a filmmaker responsible for Finding Nemo, for Toy Story. So he's a very his imagination is, of course, is out of this world. So I think you watching that video will give you some idea of what you can include in your story to make your story better. Now, I also want you to read Salvation by Langston Hughes and Fender Bender by Ramon Perez. Those two stories or narratives can be found in your Darton Compositions book, which is it's a small book. It is a required text. It's a small book and it is like green and black. So I want you to read those two things. Also, I had to write down things because I need to remember. So I want your first draft to be turned into Dropbox by Friday, September the 6th. So you're gonna turn to the Dropbox, and you're also gonna submit it in the discussion board for your peers. We would do and of course with that you would do a peer review. We just submit it to your discussion board. You are to respond to the drafts of two of your classmates with constructive feedback. It is not a place for us to be overly critical, for us to be negative. It is a place for us to just provide positive feedback, encouraging feedback. Okay? It is not a place where students can curse and demean anyone's writing or story. You want to encourage your classmates. Okay? Make suggestions. For example, I think your essay had a lot of great dialogue. Okay, then you can suggest something that they need to improve on or should consider. Okay, and so I want you to do that, but do it in a constructive manner. Also, you can submit your rough draft to me in the narrative assignment Dropbox. If you look in your D2L, I think it's marked D2L important information, or D2L is a folder there. You can, if you don't know how to submit to the Dropbox, there are instructions in that folder to teach you how to submit your essay to the Dropbox. The Dropbox should be located in the when you come to your home page and to your course page, you should see there should be a menu across the top. That's where you have discussions, grades, and you should see Dropbox. You click on Dropbox and then you follow those instructions. And once it is completed correctly, you will receive an email. That's how you know you have submitted your item correctly to Dropbox. You shall receive an email. Also, I'm going to create a quiz on salvation and fender bender. I won't do it today, but hopefully at the end of the week you'll have that. So I want you to complete, I think it's 10 points, maybe 15 points. Okay, very simple quiz on those two narratives. Also, I want you to read the writing process, which is on page 49 through 62 of your My Blank English book. That book is also required text. It is also published by Darden. That is it's a big book. It has a spiral spine. So you need to read Salvation by Langston Hughes, Fender Bender by um, Ramon Perez. Though that is found in your small book, your small Darden Reader book. I think it's Darton's Readings for Freshman Composition, I believe is the title, but I call it Darton Reader. And then the writing process in your My Blank English book, pages 49 through 62. And I also want you to read about peer reviews, which is on page 63 through 65 in My Blank English book also. This will give you some idea on how to review your peers' writing. Okay? So I want you to look at that. Now, last week, you were supposed to um, look at the intro to the narrative assignment, which was on, which is also found in My Blank English book, pages 99 through 103. And you're supposed to have read pages 1 through 5 in the small Darton Reader book, which is an intro to the narrative. So if you have not done that, I need you to do that so you will be able to have some idea about the narrative. Again, last week you're supposed to read Intro to the Narrative Assignment, which is on pages 99 through page 103 in My Blank English book, and also have read pages 1 through 5 in the Darton Reader, which is a smaller book. So you have several readings. Again, this week, Salvation by Langston Hughes, Fender Bender by Ramon Perez, The Writing Process in My Blank English book, and Peer Review in My Blank English book. So the writing process is found again on pages 49 to 62. Peer review is found on pages 63 through 65. Last week, you were to have read the intro to the narrative assignment, pages 99 through 103 in My Blank English book, and pages 1 through 5 in the Darton Reader. Please, please, please read these items. They will help you. Please also watch the video by Andrew Stanton to give you some inspiration for writing your narrative. Also, when you're writing your narrative, please consider what is appropriate material. Okay, um, you know, all of us have experienced a lot of events in our lives, events that shaped us, molded us, changed us, transformed us, inspired us, and even perhaps the tragedies. But I want you to consider your subject matter. If it is inappropriate, if you have an inkling that's inappropriate, then it's probably inappropriate. For example, um, I would discourage you from writing something about the first time you lost your virginity. I don't think that is appropriate for me to be reading. So I want you to consider your your event. If it is questionable and you want to ask me, feel free to email me and I will tell me what it's about and I will respond to it. Now, your the final draft of your narrative is not due until I think September the 19th, I believe it is. Whatever that Monday is. I think it's the 19th. So you have a good 2 weeks to work on um, these things. Get your readings done, watch your video, submit your rough draft by Friday to the Dropbox and also to discussion board. Okay, submit it to the Dropbox so I can look at it and make suggestions. Okay, any suggestions that I make, I would suggest that you follow. Um, there are, I mean, the narrative essay is it's going to be the easiest essay you'll probably write because it is your story. Now, I'm going to be looking for things like in terms of grammar. I'll be looking for subject verb agreement, pronoun agreement. I'll be looking for whether or not you wrote in the right point of view, which your essay should be in first person. Okay. I'll also be looking at whether or not you were changing shifts. Your shift, the tenses were shifting. Please, please, please. If it has already taken place, it should be written in the past tense. Okay. I should not see any present tense writing on events that have already taken on an event that has already taken place. So you want to make note that he's written in the past tense. Please, no second person. I should not see things like you, yourself, and your, um, because it's inappropriate. Number one, for writing. So please make note of that. No second person. Now, if you're quoting someone, directly quoting someone in your essay, like for example, your event may call for you to quote your mom, who said, "quote," and I'm quoting her. You go to your room. End quote. That's different. That's okay. But if you're writing just sentences for your essay, for your narrative, for your story, and you're writing, um, you should learn from your mistakes. That is inappropriate. Okay? That is inappropriate. Do not use second person. That is you, yourself, and your. Please, please, please do not do that. So your narrative essay should be written in first person. I, we, whatever is appropriate. Okay? But mainly I in this case. Um, if you have any questions, feel free to email me with your questions. So for this week, I look to see your rough draft submitted by Friday, September the 9th, and you submit it to the Dropbox, and you will submit it to the discussion board. The discussion board is there. Same way you did your intro to the class, you'll see a discussion board set up about um, the narrative assignment. And again, I'll be posting a quiz on Langston Hughes' Salvation and Ramon Perry's Fender Bender. I also ask a couple questions about what is a narrative. Okay, things about a narrative. Narrative is a story. How long should a narrative take place? It shouldn't last more than 24 hours. Okay, those kind of simple questions. Very simple quiz. Hope you have a great week. Hope you don't get stressed out about what you're writing. You know, I know it's difficult to not be stressed out about writing, but take it easy. Think of something that has impacted you, an event that you can write about that will give you some excitement, will give you allow you to remember it vividly, allow you to paint a great picture, and just will allow you to do a great job. Okay. I will advise you not to pick a boring event, okay? Because you want to paint a great picture, a very good picture about your event and your narrative. So Please, please, please consider that. And you may want to look at Langston Hughes' narrative, Langston Hughes' Salvation, and Ramon Perez's Fender Bender as examples to show you how important dialogue is to a good story, how important it is to paint a picture, how important it is to, because as a reader, the reader needs to feel as if they're sitting in your event or they're sitting in your story. Now, I do understand that you're not Langston Hughes and you're not Maya Angelou and you're not William Faulkner, okay? And so I understand that. But I want you to do the very best that you can. And I think Andrew Stanton's video on what makes a great story will help you to do that. So I want you to take the opportunity to look at that. So look in your week 4 folder and you'll find instructions for your narrative. You'll find the video by Andrew Stanton. Um, and you'll find a couple more things there. You'll find the Dropbox. You'll also find resources in your D2L folder about how to submit to the Dropbox. Okay? You'll find that. Now, and I also will be grading your quizzes from your grammar quizzes. Some of them have to be graded manually. So you did not get grades for all of them automatically when you finished it. I have to go in and grade them manually. And I'm going to work my best, try my best to do that by the end of the week. I hope you enjoyed your Labor Day holiday. And if there are any questions that you have, please feel free to email me. That's the best way you can reach me. And I will get back with you as soon as I can. And I think that is it. I'm sure I'm probably forgetting something. Um, but I hope you have a great week and take the time, think about your event you write about, think about the story that you want to tell. Do not let the story last for days. It needs to be an event that took place within a 24-hour time frame. Okay? So, and think about your event. Brainstorm. Think about what season it was. Think about how the day was. Think about the weather. Think about what you had on. All those things that are relevant to the story. Okay, so you can paint a better picture of your story. And do those readings. Uh, Look for the quiz. And have any questions? Just feel free to let me know. Have a great week. Thank you. Bye bye.